Morning, Rock Hill. Pastor Kyle here with your Monday morning sermon recap. Yesterday we looked at Psalm 145, the ABCs of praise. It's the last song or psalm attributed to King David, written in the book of Psalms. We don't know when he wrote it, but we do know this is the last one compiled that he is attributed to as the author. It's a Hebrew acrostic poem where every new verse starts with the next Hebrew letter, and so that's why we called it the ABCs of praise. It's kind of this final capstone project of this is why God is so awesome. This is who God is, and this is what God has done. Therefore, our lives ought to praise and worship and stand in awe of Him. When times are challenging and when times are good, the most important thing about us is what we believe to be true about God. It grounds us in reality. It becomes a firm foundation for our soul, an anchor that kind of holds us against the tossing waves of life. There was tons of things that Psalm 145 said about God, but we boiled it down to four to just help ourselves remember. Four statements. The first is God is great so that we don't have to be in control. God is the one who is the breather out of stars. He is great and awesome and majestic, and He is in control. We are not. So God is great, so we don't have to control our lives. We can simply hand over the control of things to Him. Second, God is glorious, so we don't have to fear others. God is beautiful, and His glorious holiness is intense and is captivating to behold. Therefore, we don't need to find approval from other people because we have it in God. God is glorious, therefore we ought to obey and fear Him above other people. Third, God is good, so we don't have to look elsewhere for satisfaction. The true thirst of our soul is only quenched by God and who He is. We were created to worship. We were created to stand in awe of Him. That's why the things in this world always leave us wanting more. It's because we were created for God. Finally, God is gracious, so we don't have to prove ourselves. We don't need to perform. We don't need to find our identity in our achievement or any other thing. But God chooses to relate to us graciously through the person and work of His Son, Jesus Christ. That Jesus lived the life that we should have lived but didn't. He died the death that we deserved to die in our place for our sin. And He rose in victory over an enemy that we had no hope of defeating. And so Jesus is our hope. God is gracious. We don't have to prove ourselves. So when we think of who God is great, God is glorious, God is gracious, and God is good. Hope you guys have a wonderful week. I hope that's helpful. The full version is probably a lot better. I'd encourage you to go check it out.